What's up, guys? Chris over here at Cover 7. Hey, I know nobody probably cares about this game other than me, but before the season started, I was fairly high on Mississippi State. I didn't think they were going to be the doormat of the SEC this year, and they're definitely not. They're definitely a better team, and they got definitely a better quarterback, and I'll talk about that in a minute. On the other side, I sprinkled some money this year before the season started on A&M to win the SEC, so they're looking good so far. I'll talk about both teams here. I want to dig into some stats here. This isn't a betting video. This is more of just a prediction video on what I think on both these teams. This may be one of the more interesting games of the weekend outside of Florida State and Miami. So with that being said, guys, let's talk a little Mississippi State football here. Look, this season, man, they're 4-1, and they had the big win over Arizona State, which I predicted, by the way, which was awesome. To start the year off, I think that was their second game of the year. That was a really good football game. Mississippi State got up early in that one. Arizona State is a very physical team. I still think they're one of the best teams, if not the best team, maybe in the Big 12 yet. We don't know. Big 12 is like throwing a dart at a dartboard every year who's going to come out of there. But it was a big win for Mississippi State at home. They turned around. They beat Alcorn State. They beat Northern Illinois. And then they lost last week, which was kind of heartbreaking for me. I still covered that game, but Tennessee, man, Tennessee is a way better team in my opinion than last year offensively, right? I know their defense was good last season. I am not a Nico guy. I didn't like the guy to begin with, to be honest with you, so I can honestly raise my hand and say that I enjoy watching him fail at UCLA. But this Joey Aguilar kid, G5 Joey as they call him, he's a way better quarterback Tennessee. So that was a really good game. It was a high scoring 41-34 loss there for Mississippi State. Unfortunately, in overtime, they had a couple opportunities to win that game. It was one of the more entertaining games of the weekend. With that said, though, let's jump over to A&M real quickly to talk about their record and who they played. Now, A&M this year, I was, like I said, really high on them as far as a dark horse team to come out of the SEC. The SEC has got a bunch of teams at the top that are really good. I think A&M under Mike Elko in year two may be that team. So far, so good, right? They beat UTSA, they beat Utah State. And then they beat Notre Dame. That was a hell of a football game. That came down to the wire at the end. I think it was a fourth down play. A&M threw something in the back of the end zone before the end of regulation and won that game 41-40. You can say what you want about Notre Dame this year. I know their defense isn't up to snuff like what it usually is, but I was very impressed with A&M's offense and Marcel Reed in that game. Now, last week, they played a tough Auburn team as far as defensively. Auburn is atrocious on offense. I'm not going to talk about Hugh Freeze and what I think of him, but they did win that game 16-10. It was a very low-scoring game. I watched a majority of it, kind of an old-school game there, to be honest. But with that being said, let's get into this one a little bit here. Now, I think A&M is a 13.5 or 14-point favorite here at home. I don't necessarily agree with that line, but like I said, I'm not doing a betting video here. I'll talk about Mississippi State and their offense here. As far as the ranks go, and if you guys don't know, Blake Shapen is their quarterback. He got hurt last year. He transferred over from Baylor. This guy's looks like he's played like 7 years in college football, but he's had an injury problem. He's a pretty damn good quarterback to kick and sling the ball. He did at Baylor for a couple years. Obviously, last year he got hurt. And then this season, he's been on fire, man. He's put up some pretty decent numbers. For total offense, Mississippi State ranks 50th. They're 35th in rushing offense, which is actually kind of surprising. They can run the ball back there. And then they got they're 90th in sacks allowed, which is a little concerning, if you will. They give up about 2.5 a game. The passing offense is sitting at like 73rd or 74th in the country there. Now, on the flip side for A&M, their defense, and we know Mike Elko is a defensive guy. This is just what he does at his time at Notre Dame, his time at Duke. He's always put out good defenses. I like Mike Elko. He's a little bold. He's a little brash. He's a big guy. He likes to yell and scream, but the guy seems to get the best out of his teams wherever he's been. Their defense, which last year I did have some questions about, they were kind of soft at times, in my opinion. This year, pretty damn good. They're 35th in total defense, 42nd against the run, 49th against the pass. And boy, do they get after the quarterback. They got 14 sacks on the year, puts them in a tie for 6th in the country there. You know, that's the thing in this game. It's like, if they can get to Shapen, if A&M does here, there may be a problem, in my opinion. It's not that I don't think you can run the ball a little bit on A&M, but Mississippi State is going to have to be able to run the football. If they become one-dimensional in this one, A&M's defense is going to tee off on Chapin, and this may get out of hand and may get ugly. Now, granted, they got A&M. They're at home, which is huge there. One of the harder places to play in college football, in my opinion. That will be an issue as well. So as far as the other side of the ball goes here, A&M's offense. Here's your ranks offensively. 23rd in total offense, 61st in rushing offense, 49th in passing offense. They're 52nd in sacks allowed. They only give up 1.5 per game, so not terrible there. If you guys know anything about A&M, they're led by their quarterback, Marcel Reed, which, in my opinion, I liked this kid last year. I think he came in. I can't remember who got hurt. Was it Connor Weigman was their quarterback last year? Got banged up. Now is at Houston, obviously. But Reed came in, highly touted freshman, super athletic, is developed into a better thrower. He's got a ways to go, in my opinion, yet. But he's put up some pretty damn good numbers through the air so far. He's got over 1,000 yards. The completion percentage is a little shaky at 60%. That's what I'm getting at here, is that he needs to become a better passer. But he does have 9 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, not the worst. The running back, Le'Veon Moss, you guys remember him last year. He got banged up at the end of the year. Pretty goddamn good back, though. Had a big run against Auburn. This kid's got 54 carries on the year, 307 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Now, as far as receivers go, I really like Mario Craver. You guys remember him. Got really good set of hands there. Concepcion, or however you say his name, he used to play at NC State. He's over there. He's got 20 catches on the year for 300 yards at least, and a couple scores as well. A&M's got a pretty damn good roster here. They really do. Offensively, they're coming along. I know everybody looks at last week and says, well, you guys only scored 16 points against Auburn. Auburn's got a pretty good defense. They're a lot like Florida. 0 offense whatsoever, and LSU. I'll group them in together. All 3 of those teams got really good defenses, but the offenses are lagging way behind. As far as that goes, how does Mississippi State's defense stack up here in this game? Well, I can tell you this much. They're 33rd in total defense, which is really good for Mississippi State. They're 63rd against the rush. They're 27th against the pass. A little bit of a problem here, though. They don't get to the quarterback real well. They only average a sack and about a half per game. You're going to have to be – here's a problem, honestly. Like Reed, because he's so athletic and makes plays outside the pocket, he is tough to get a hold of. They're going to have to try to contain him somehow and slow down the running game of Le'Veon Moss. If they can do that, which is a big if, I get that. A&M is a good team. If they can do that and force Reed to throw the football down the field here to those really good receivers, I think Mississippi State's got a chance here. Reed is not a elite level passer yet. I'm not saying that he can't be, but right now he's the accuracy issue is a little bit of a concern. And you could say that about a lot of young quarterbacks, right? I mean, my Huskers in Raiola, he's really accurate, but he also doesn't force the ball down the field ever at all. Aiden Childs, who we play actually this week, younger kid, Dante Moore. A lot of these guys it takes a little time to develop into a really accurate passer over time. So I'm not knocking Reed. Reed brings another skill set that a majority of those guys don't have, and that's the running ability. The same thing also, I forgot to bring him up, is DJ Lagway. He's young in this group of young quarterbacks. He doesn't run very much, which is weird because he's like a pretty good athlete, but he really struggles with accuracy, as we know, with the turnover issue and all that stuff. But this game in particular, guys, I guess I'm just really interested to hear some of your guys' thoughts, if you made it this far in the video, on who you think. I'd love to get some Mississippi State fans on here, some A&M fans, to tell me about these teams, because this game, to me, it's weird that I see A&M, favored here by 14. Maybe they blow Mississippi State out. State reverts back to the doormat that they've been for the past how many seasons. But I think this Mississippi State team can hang around in this one for a while. Am I picking them to win this game? No, probably not. This is at Kyle Allen Fieldhouse, or whatever the hell they call that stadium anymore, where they got the 12th man and all that good stuff. Or Kyle Field. Jesus, I can't even talk. Kyle Field. Tough place to play, though, regardless. Why was I thinking of Allen Fieldhouse? I'm thinking of Kansas Jayhawk basketball. Wow. A whole different tangent there. You guys are probably like, God, this guy's retarded. But I think Mississippi State can hang around in this one, guys. I truly do. Want to know your guys' thoughts down below in the comment section. Would be great. Give it a thumbs up if you like this. This is more of just a prediction video here and just breaking down what I see on paper to me, which doesn't always translate, obviously, over to the field. Mississippi State looks like they can hang around in this one. I don't see why not. I've been crazy. I've been saying that every week about this team. I've been pretty close so far this year with them. But I like A&M as well. I think A&M is one of the best teams in the SEC this year, strictly because of that defense. I think they're really good. They will be tested coming up, though, and we'll find out. So with that being said, guys, appreciate all the support, and we'll talk to you later.